In 1986, during the bike leg of a triathlon, a rider was struck from behind by an SUV moving at 55 miles per hour. Looking at this clinical timeline of the aftermath, you can see the severity of the damage: a T8 burst fracture with bone fragments compressing the spinal cord. 4 separate orthopedic surgeons delivered the same prognosis. They recommended an immediate surgery to bolt 12-inch stainless steel rods alongside his spine, warning him that without the procedure, he would be permanently paralyzed. Instead of accepting the surgery, he went to a friend's house in a body cast. For 2 hours every morning and 2 hours every evening, he ran a grueling, highly systematic mental protocol designed to reconstruct his spine, vertebra by vertebra. That patient was Dr. Joe Dispenza. By week 6 of this daily practice, he stood up and walked. By week 9.5, he was back to full strength training, completely bypassing the steel rods. This recovery forces a re-examination of a specific biological mechanism. Internal belief, when tightly structured and paired with intense emotional charge, can trigger massive physiological reconstruction without any mechanical intervention. To run the exact same protocol Dispenza used, you need to do a one-time prep session before you ever sit down to meditate. Grab a pen, a piece of paper, and block out 20 minutes. First, write down the specific negative belief that is actively running your life. Do not pick a vague insecurity. You need the exact phrasing that gives you a slight jolt of embarrassment to read out loud. Next to it, write down the exact opposite of that belief, but you must phrase it as if it is already a factual reality happening right now. Looking at this checklist, you can see the strict physical requirements for the daily practice. You need a quiet room. You need to sit completely upright in a chair. Wear loose clothing with no tight belts or shoes, and you must do this either immediately after waking up or right before you fall asleep. There is a strict rule against doing this in bed. Your brain heavily associates your mattress with sleep. If you try to run this sequence there, you will either drift off or stay in a waking, anxious state. This written prep work is non-negotiable. It provides the exact targeting coordinates for the subconscious program you are about to systematically overwrite. Step 1 of the daily practice is a 10 to 15-minute open focus induction. Sitting upright, you slowly move your attention through 26 distinct body regions. But instead of feeling the physical body parts, you actively sense the empty space that each region occupies and the volume of space around it. This chart illustrates exactly why sensing space is necessary. Focusing on empty space rather than physical objects forces your brainwaves to shift out of a narrow, high-stress beta pattern and drop into a smooth, rolling alpha state. Arriving at this alpha frequency shifts the brain into a state of high suggestibility, allowing information to pass directly into the subconscious mind. If you skip this induction and try to rewrite your beliefs while still stuck in a stressed beta state, the protocol will fail. You cannot change a subconscious belief from a conscious, analytical brainwave. Once in alpha, you enter part 2, lingering in the quantum void. For the next 5 to 20 minutes, you intentionally stop sensing the room. You let go of your body, your identity, and your sense of time itself, dissolving into blackness. You are not trying to magically clear your mind here. Your objective is simply to observe distractions as they pop up, without engaging them. Every single time you catch your brain attaching to a person, a memory, or a worry, and you actively choose to let it dissolve back into the void, that is 1 rep. The reps are the actual practice. These first 2 parts are preparatory. They neutralize the analytical mind and stabilize the brainwave state, creating the physiological environment required for the actual belief change to take hold. With the environment set, you move to part 3, the belief swap. You recall that old negative belief from your piece of paper, and you make a firm, conscious decision to release it. To actually overwrite the neurological program, Dispenza outlines a specific formula. Clear intention, combined with elevated emotion, creates an energy that exceeds the past. The energy of your decision to change must carry a heavier mathematical charge than the entire history of the old belief. If your decision feels weaker than the habit you're trying to break, the overwrite won't hold, and generic feelings of happiness are not enough to bridge that gap. You need intense amplitude. The emotion you summon must be profound, like awe, wholeness, absolute freedom, or deep gratitude. Next, you mentally rehearse the new reality. You install the new, positive belief by genuinely feeling the elevated emotion of your future self, experiencing it right now, sitting in that chair. Once you feel it, there is a critical rule. You have to surrender the creation. You provide the intention and the emotion, but you must completely relinquish trying to figure out exactly how or when the change will happen. This works because your physical body cannot tell the difference between a real external event and an intensely felt internal emotion. When you hold genuine gratitude for a future state, your body begins expressing new genes and biologically adapting as if that future has already occurred. Knowing the sequence is one thing, but if you attempt the full hour-long protocol on day one, you will fail. You simply won't have the mental stamina to hold the alpha state. To build that stamina, this progressive timeline charts the 4-week ramp-up you need to follow. Week 1 has a single objective: practice the open focus induction for 20 minutes a day, just to learn how to sense space. In week 2, you increase the daily session to 30 minutes by introducing a short stint in the quantum void. By weeks 3 and 4, you finally execute the full belief swap, eventually scaling your practice up to a full hour to process 2 separate beliefs. Be prepared for the week 2 plateau. During this phase, it often feels like nothing is happening. This is entirely normal, and quitting here is the most common mistake beginners make. This 4-week schedule is not a casual suggestion. It is the strict, structural prerequisite you must follow to achieve the kind of measurable transformations documented in the medical case studies. The entire protocol distills down to this flow: sit upright, sense the space around you to drop your stress, and let your identity dissolve into the void. Then, overwrite the old belief with undeniable conviction. Feel the gratitude of the future in your body right now, and let the outcome go. Finally, open your eyes, stand up, and navigate the rest of your day acting exactly as that newly adapted person. Run this sequence every single day. Force your body to adapt to the new emotion,